Thanks, Stan. With us and Bill O'Reilly in the Weekdays at Bernie segment tonight. As you may know, General Stanley McChrystal's career was derailed by an article in Rolling Stone magazine that quoted him and his aides as mocking members of the Obama administration. But according to the Atlantic magazine, it was not unusual for General McChrystal to hang around with liberals because he himself is a liberal thinker. Some reports even say he banned Fox News from his office TV set. We have not been able to confirm that, but we can confirm that the general felt comfortable in liberal precincts and allowed far-left bomb thrower Michael Hastings to follow him around.
Bill O'Reilly is calling you a far-left critic. In my book, no matter what your political persuasion is, that probably means you're doing a good job.
And Hastings does think he did a good job ruining General McChrystal. Hastings is quite a guy. Joining us now from North Carolina, Fox News analyst Bernard Goldberg. All right, Bernie, now, you and I both said last week that Hastings, as despicable as I believe he is, did not violate journalistic procedure, at least as far as we know. But I want you to react to what CBS correspondent Lara Logan said. Roll the tape.
Michael Hastings, if you believe him, says that there were no ground rules laid out. And I mean, that just doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, because if you look at the people around General McChrystal, if you look at his history, he has a history of not interacting with the media at all. I know these people. They never let their guard down like that. To me, something doesn't add up here. I don't believe it.
Ms. Logan spent a lot of time in the war zones of Iraq and Afghanistan. So what say you, Bernie?
Well, a couple of points. First, Lara Logan knows what she's doing, and she sounds like she knows what she's talking about. I just don't know if in this case the conversation with McChrystal and his aides was on or off the record. If it was off the record, then Rolling Stone sandbagged the general. It's that simple. If it was on the record, then these guys, McChrystal and his guys, were just a bunch of cowboys who thought they could say anything they wanted. And if that's the case, if it was on the record, then I say what I said last week. It isn't a reporter's job to do PR for the military. So in that case, it wouldn't be Rolling Stone's
Okay, but here's what struck me.
I just don't know which it is.
No, we don't know for sure, and McChrystal hasn't said anything about it. We're trying to find out. But here's what I'm coming from, this point of view as well. I think Lara Logan is discounting the ideology of General McChrystal, because that's the only explanation. I don't know anything about McChrystal. I've never met him. I've met the other generals, Odierno and Casey, all of those guys. When I was in Afghanistan, McChrystal obviously wasn't there. I don't know his ideology, but when I heard that he was an avowed liberal who turned off Fox News in his office, which, as you know, is the most widely watched network on all Army and Marine and naval bases all over the world by far. It's Fox News, Fox News, Fox. When he did that and I heard that, I went, okay, maybe his own ideology brought him down. I wonder if General McChrystal is as liberal now, today, as he was before the Rolling Stone article. So I think you live by the liberal sword, you die by the liberal sword.
Well, exactly, exactly. This is why God created irony. I mean, if you're a liberal military man and you take a liberal journalist, you know, into your confidence, and then he turns around and screws you. I mean, that's what we call ironic. But there may be a clue here as to what happened, just a clue. And that is that the writer, Michael Hastings, did a piece in GQ magazine once, and he explained how he operates. He explained right out there in the open how he operates. He said, first of all, you pretend to be friendly with people you need to get close to. That's his word, pretend.
Right.
And then you gain their confidence. And then, you ready for this? And then, if you get a call from your editor and he tells you to screw these people, then you screw them. And he didn't use the word screw either.
Use the F word.
So here's my question, Bill. Here's my question. I want to know, is that what happened here? Did you go into the story, Michael Hastings, pretending to be friendly, winning their confidence? That part I don't have a problem with, really, to be honest with you. A little problem, but not a big problem. But did you know going in that there was going to come a time when you were going to screw these people? Because if you did, then that's the definition of dishonesty in journalism.
Well, I have a problem with any reporter going in and trying to be friends with somebody and hosing them in the end. I have never done that.
Right.
In 35 years.
Let me defend myself. Let me just defend myself. Here's what I mean by that. If I'm going to do a story on the Ku Klux Klan, No, I'm not going to go in there and pretend to be friends with them, but neither am I going to go in and say, you morons
tell them you're going to get a fair
despicable.
shot. You're going to get a fair shot here. That's what you tell them. You're going to get a fair shot. If I use a negative quote, then I'll run it by you and you can respond. That's easy, and, and that's the way you do it. You don't say, I sympathize with your point of view. Go ahead.
I'll tell you what my rule of thumb is. My rule of thumb is that if I do any piece and I know it's going to be, you know, something that the person I'm interviewing may not like, I still want to be able to watch that piece on television sitting in the same room
with that person. Right.
Yeah, they could turn to me and say, I didn't like the piece, but it was fair. So that's my rule of thumb.
Right. And look, we ambush people sometimes on this program, and you don't really think that's appropriate sometimes. But you know why we do it? Because that's eye to eye. That's face to face. Okay?
Right.
We're going to come and we're going to ask you right in your face what you did, why you did it, give you a chance to explain yourself. That's why we're successful here. This Hastings is a weasel, Bernie. He's a weasel. You know he's a weasel. You saw, you know, if you look at it and you read his other articles, this is a weasel with a capital W that any intelligent military person would say, hey, you, out of here. But I think McChrystal is a liberal. I think the guy sold him, Hastings sold him a big bill, and he took it. They had a few pops in the Irish pub in Paris, and bang, that's what happened. Give the last word.
Well, the last word is what he said about you. He took a shot at you, Hastings did. Very courageous. He's not the first one to do it, so no big deal there. But here's what's interesting. The follow-up question should have been, it doesn't matter if Bill O'Reilly thinks you're a left-wing journalist. The question is, are you? And do your left-wing politics affect your journalism?
Absolutely.
And if the answer is, well, they do, not that he would tell us that, but if they do, then all bets are off.
Well, that's what the record shows. I mean, he doesn't have to tell us. That's what the record shows. Bernie, thanks very much. We appreciate it.
Okay.
Reality check.